Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee, and I want to include staff too. I appreciate this opportunity to provide testimony regarding the Water Resources Development Act and the Missouri River. As chairman of the Missouri Levee and Drainage District Association, I represent levee and drainage districts, businesses, associations, and individuals interested in the activities and issues surrounding the Missouri River and its tributaries. I'm honored to have this opportunity to provide comments on behalf of Levee Association's membership and fellow Missourians who have been impacted by this year's flooding. I'm a seventh-generation farmer. I produce corn, soybeans, and wheat on the highly productive bottomlands along the Missouri River. I know and understand the importance levees and flood control projects play in protecting lives and property in my community and communities across the nation. Now, I could read 17 pages of testimony, but I don't think you want me to do that, and I don't want to do that. So I'd rather just make 3 points this afternoon. First, the current Missouri River flooding is not over. The reservoirs in the upper basin in Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota are full. Reservoirs in Kansas have an abundance of water, and reservoirs in Missouri and in the Osage Basin are full as well. Now, all three of these basins are going to flow water down the Missouri River, and it's got to get to St. Louis by the next spring. So that's going to keep the river high. We know it's going to be high above flood stage probably through the rest of this summer, fall, and into winter. And with over 100 levees breached along the Missouri River, flooding is going to continue to be a problem. It's going to take a long time to recover these levees, and it's going to take funding. I hope this committee and Congress will act quickly and decisively to push the Corps forward with funding and oversight so repairs can be made as soon as possible. My second point, flood control needs to be the #1 priority for the Missouri River Reservoir system. This was a once highly engineered system, but over the past 20 years, it's been used to conduct supersized science experiments for 2 birds and a fish. These experiments have decimated the flood control system. Dike notching destroyed dikes, revetments, and other structures in the river. Open channels and chutes along the river have caused the river to flow differently than it used to. Changes in storage levels, changes in how and why we release water, all have changed and taken away from flood control in the system. We have to get back to flood control as the top priority. We've reached a tipping point, and we can no longer continue to conduct failed experiment after failed experiment at the expense of people's lives and livelihoods. And I said lives because people have died. Missouri and Iowa farmland was not meant to be the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service laboratory, and Midwestern farmers no longer want to be their guinea pigs. Brings me to my third point, and that's that it's not just the Missouri River. Flood control infrastructure needs to be a national priority. Just like the highway system, the power grid, internet, and communications infrastructure, flood control infrastructure has been left behind. Flooding takes place in nearly every day in this country somewhere. Just look at your TV every morning, you can see it's flooding somewhere, most recently the day before yesterday here in Washington. We spend billions of dollars in flood recovery, and in comparison, we spend very little on prevention. And we can't build an umbrella over the coastlines to protect us from hurricanes, and we can't bolt together the fault lines to protect us from the earthquakes. But we can build flood control infrastructure. Floods do not discriminate. They don't choose Democrats over Republicans. They don't choose rich over poor, east over west, or north over south. Flood control is not a partisan issue. It's an issue impacting the entire country. And as such, the entire Congress should support prioritizing flood control infrastructure as money is spent for infrastructure projects is appropriated. I thank you, and I ask that my written comments be included in the record, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waters. Now, Chair recognizes Ms. Julie Hill Gabriel.